So,
So
are we still on?
post-interruption, we're still here.
So, it's because they, again, being sort of both halves of the team, it takes a while to write the libretto and to write the score and make sure that the whole thing. I like it to arrive complete. You know, I don't like to give a sort of interesting torso and let's see if somehow we can develop it into something. I'd like to arrive at the first reading or the first rehearsal with as many problems that I can conceive of solved first, you know, and which tends to make everyone relaxed. But it also takes a while, you know, and so.
Well, what about the difference between writing the libretto and writing the music? Is it a different creative process for you?
Well, what I try to do is minimize the differences, and in going back to the outline, I feel like because very often, if an opera will not work, it's because you will have sort of a play that happens to be underscored, you know, by a 25-piece orchestra, but the major motion of the show is coming from the words, is coming from the dramatic conception, or you'll have a 2-hour like tone poem that has the sort of real-time program note stuffed into it. You know, the music is driving it, but I always feel like you shouldn't get the sense that the words are driving the music or vice versa. And so that's why I feel like if I can come up with some third way of defining what an opera is, to which both the words and the music pertain, then really what I'm doing is fleshing out that idea in words on the left side, if you will, and music on the other side of it. And the more I know about the motion of the scene or the architecture of the scene, then in a way, very often the music and the language can adjust to each other even before they're written, because I know I need a scene to have this kind of texture, you know, a lot of short lines, and if people are not. If my action is people are trying to elicit information from each other by concealing their own hands, that may tell me short sentences, you know, of rather cryptic content, rather fast in kind of a medium register. For example, I'm just making that up. But those things are already going to tell me, well, I'm going to need short lines. That's going to lead me to a certain choice of language. And it's going to obviously lead me to a certain choice of musical texture. You know, because in many ways, what we're doing now, I mean, we're speaking, but it's also music. You know, I mean, it's in terms of tempo and relative intensity and you know, volume. In many ways, it all comes from speech.